back to 417 Fox, your channel for the automotive DIY enthusiast. On today's video, I'm going to take you through the steps of how to install a Cervinis Cobra wing on your Fox Body hatchback. Now, if you like this kind of content, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and also don't forget to hit the bell notification so you see when I release exciting content. Let's get to it. Some of the tools that you're going to need for today's project: you're going to need a drill, a ratchet with a 7/16 socket, a 1/16 inch drill bit, a spring punch, a step bit, a small hammer, some tape, mounting hardware, and the alignment tabs that come with the kit. Can this job be intimidating? Absolutely, but I want you to know that you can do it, because if I can do it, I know you can do it. Now, if you go out there and you search on YouTube on how to install a Cobra wing on one of these, LMR is more than likely going to come up, just like they do on most Fox Body how-to videos. I've learned a ton from LMR, love the company. But in their video for Cobra rear wing, they tell you to go take it to a body shop. And I'm not saying that's a bad idea, but that's not what this channel's about. This is about getting the job done yourself, and that's what we're going to do. So, yes, do you need to weld? Okay, well, you're probably going to say, Michael, I don't have a welder. I didn't either. Did I know how to weld a little bit? Yeah, I had some experience back in my younger days doing a little bit of welding, but not a lot. So if you think about how much would it cost you to take your car to a body shop and have the rear wing just installed, not even painted, but you're probably looking at least a $200 labor job, if not more. If you're thinking about having it painted, the whole hatch would have to be painted. And also the wing painted, you're probably looking at somewhere between $600 and $1,000 to have that done. So you're thinking, okay, well, I don't have a welder. Well, how about investing some of that money that you would have had to spend to have somebody else do the work for you, and you invested in for yourself in, say, a welder? Now, did I buy an expensive welder? Absolutely not. I bought one from Harbor Freight. I bought a flux core wire welder. I'll show you where it sits in the shop. Doesn't take up much space. Sits right up there on the top shelf. There's my $100 Chicago electric flux core wire welder with my $30 Harbor Freight auto darkening welding hood sitting right on top of it. So, do you want to invest a little bit in a tool and learn how to do something yourself? That's what I wanted to do, and that's what this channel is about. Before we get started, I want to take just a few minutes to tell you why you probably want to buy the better product when it comes to, say, ground effects, or for this example, a Cobra wing. With Cervinis, I've never had an issue with their product. The fitment is excellent. Also, another key point that I'm going to show you here in just a minute of why you would want to buy a Cervinis wing, even though it may be more expensive than some of the cheaper aftermarket wings that are out there. Now, I do want to put a disclaimer out there. Cervinis has nothing to do with this video. They've not sponsored, they've not provided any of the product. I'm just telling you what my experience has been using the Cervinis products. Now, one of the biggest reasons why, other than your fitment, which is great, is Cervinis actually uses the stock mounting locations for your top and bottom holes. Now, your factory wing, when you pull it off the car, it actually has three. You can see right here where I've already welded that up. Mounting locations. Now, on some of the aftermarket wings that I've used before, all mounting locations change. That's a lot of extra work when you think about body work and welding and grinding, compared to with Cervinis, you actually only have to weld up 3 locations, which is going to be both sides of the middle hole on your factory wing, here and here, and then your hole where your harness comes through for your rear brake light is here. You actually have to move it over to here, and I'll show you how to do that here in just a few minutes. Although I've already done all of the welding work on this, I kind of want to walk you through that portion of it, even though I didn't get to video that. And it's pretty straightforward, and I found what works easiest for me. Now, disclaimer, when you're going to do any welding in an enclosed area, make sure you take the proper safety precautions. Don't have gasoline out, don't have any vapors that could ignite out, have a fire extinguisher handy, and also you want to protect the underside interior if the interior is out, and put put a welding blanket or some type of material that will not catch fire that's under that. So take the safety precautions that you need, and then let's get started. Now to do this, what I found the easiest is actually to take a magnet. I will take a piece of sheet metal that is similar to the thickness of the car, and I will grind it into a circular shape. And how to do that, if you'd actually take a piece of paper and lay on here, and take a pencil and take your pencil and rub it across a piece of paper, you'll get an exact diameter that you can use as a template when you go to cut out your when you're grinding your piece of metal, so you can kind of gauge that, because it's more than likely you're not going to be standing right here doing all that. You're going to go to where your workbench or wherever that might be. Once you get your size of metal, it doesn't have to be perfect, because your welds can fill in a lot of that spot too. You just take it, get your magnet on here, you hold that, you put your weld on here and get a tack in there. Now when you weld sheet metal, you want to make sure you take the time, and it's called stitching, okay? And you do not want to, you're basically making small tacks all the way around that hole, okay? Now, you do not want to do those all at the same time. You need to let each one cool before you move to the next one. So it's a good idea to have a couple of holes all being done at the same time. That way you can move back and forth between each one. Now guys, there's tons of videos about how to weld out there, so I'm sure you're going to want to look some of those up, but it is not very difficult. You're not going to have, with that Chicago, with that Harbor Freight welder, I've got the wire feed on the slow speed and about halfway up on the amperage to weld on one of these. Yes, you can blow through. Just remember, it's a tack, and each tack will get penetration on this thin sheet metal. Once that's done, you want to grind that down smooth. Then go ahead and put a small layer of body filler on it, sand that off. Now the car's ready, because we're going to have to paint this for our next steps of the painting process. That's not what we're going to cover here today, but I'm going to show you how to get the wing, which is one of the most important parts, fitted up. And this is why a Cervinis wing makes all the difference in the world when it comes to fitment and alignment. So let's get to that. Guys, I don't know about you, but a Cobra wing is the absolute best looking wing on a hatchback Fox body. Now, this is where your Cervinis really makes the difference. I spent probably 30 seconds sitting this on here. It's not bolted down, it's just sitting on here, and how it is just, it fits like a glove. I guess there's probably no better way to say it, that this wing fits like a glove. I've installed a cheaper version of one of these wings from a different company out there, and the fitment is no comparison. All right, so I'm going to pull this back off. I've verified that there's no irregularities in the mold, because you would hate to go ahead and put this thing on there and not have checked to make sure that there's not something wrong with this wing. But if you'll look, it fits fantastic. Man, those look good. Just look great. All right, let me show you how to line boat holes up. All right, so if you bought the kit from Cervinis, it's going to come with these alignment tabs. All right, so it comes with enough of these to go through each one of the holes. Each one of these mounting strips will go into one of the existing holes on the wing. Just for the example, I'm just going to go ahead and just do 2 of these. And I would lay this down. That one pull out. Okay. Now what you're going to do, since this one already has existing top and bottom locations, I'm going to have a helper, and I would raise the hatch, and let's go ahead and put those 4 bolts in through those stock hole locations. That way we know we've got this fitted properly. Those holes don't change as long as you're installing a Cervinis wing. Now you know with all these tabs, they're going to be in the right place to drill that hole. So once you've got the wing fitted properly, tighten down, go ahead and take your tape, and on each one of your alignment tabs, I'm going to take a piece of tape on either side of it. Okay, take a piece of tape on it like that and go all the way around each hole. Go ahead and put a piece of tape on all the alignment tabs. Then go ahead and take the bolts out, take your wing off, and when you do that, what do you got? You see how these put this perfectly centered on each one of these holes. Now what you're going to do is your next step, you're going to take your 16th inch drill bit and go right through here, and that's going to give you an indentation. Whether you even drill through it all the way or not, I like to just make a mark with my drill bit. Then once my mark is there, I can come back around with my punch and go ahead and make a good indentation punch on that spot. Now that you have all of your locations for each one of your new holes, you can rest assured that you're not going to drill a hole in the wrong spot for your wing. Another one of the things I found with some of the cheaper wings out there, it will not be uniform from side to side on where the holes are in the middle wing section. That can make your job a lot harder when you're trying to line these up. So the easiest way to drill these, now if you don't have a step bit, you can go ahead and just drill a 7/16 hole. But I can promise you this, go spend a few dollars at Harbor Freight. They've got good step bits. They're not very expensive. This one's from Harbor Freight. I've drilled many holes with it. You're going to drill it down to the 7/16 section, and this thing will blow right through these holes all the way down to the 7/16 and give you a really, really nice hole. So now once all your holes are drilled, you're ready to install the wing. Now we're not going to install the wing in this episode because we're going to install it in a future episode once this has all been painted and we're ready to install a painted wing. So I know you guys want to stick around for that. Alright guys, it's time to wrap this video up. I know it's a shorter video, but I would have hated to miss the opportunity to show you how to install one of these Cobra wings because they're not nearly as intimidating as they look. Hey, and leave a comment. I love reading your comments, and I make sure I try to respond to each and every one of them. I'll see you guys on the next one.